Our favourite time of the week to talk to our favourite person in the world, the wonderful Megyn Kelly joins us from the United States. How are you, mate?
I'm great. How you doing, Paul?
Well, there is so much BS about the last president, Joe Biden, and I know they say we're not allowed to talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it. Where do we start?
There are truly layers upon layers of going down here. So first we had the obvious cover-up of Joe Biden's mental infirmity from the White House and the complicit media, lest they be forgotten. Yes, the White House and the aides protecting the president are the chief villains in all of it, but the media is just as complicit in the cover-up and went along with it, not unwittingly, wittingly. They went along with it because they didn't want to report on anything that could jeopardize Biden's chances of getting elected and then reelected, and that might enable Trump's trip right into the White House. That's why they had to go along with the lies. They're not complete idiots. They saw what 77% of the country saw, which was that he was too old and infirm to be president. They saw it. This is their business, politics. They didn't report on it because they had zero interest in bringing that story to print or to camera. They did not want it fanned, and they didn't want it to catch on. He was too important to them. And they, like the rest of the Democrats who were actually in politics, unlike the media who aren't supposed to be, saw the truth, which was there was no clear heir apparent. If Biden went, then who? And they continued to say to themselves internally and externally, who else can do it? He's the only one to beat Trump. And that is the reason for all of the lies and then complicity by the media in covering it up. So now we get to the point where they're feeling bad, I guess. A couple of them have found a conscience about the fact that they covered up the biggest story in decades at the presidential level, that we had a cognitively impaired president who most likely should have been 25th Amendmented right out of office, meaning you can't perform the duties any longer, so you're out. And they've decided to use their Democrat sources to write books about it. Okay, I'm in favor of that, to be honest. I like it because now I've read the Tapper Thompson book, Original Sin, and I actually did learn a fair amount of new details in there. Did my opinion of the infirmity change? No, not at all. We knew the bottom line. Everybody listening to my voice right now, we knew the bottom line. Your bottom line is not going to change. But there's a lot more in there about who else knew, who specifically was covering it up inside of the White House, et cetera. And I found that very interesting. Like, I wanted names. And so far, we haven't seen somebody provide them. And now we have. Okay, great. We're off to the races. So no sooner does that book hit, it hits on Tuesday, and the audio of the Hur special counsel investigation is posted on Axios by one of the co-authors of this same book, showing Biden was out to lunch. He was non-compos mentis. He was the daffy old, very old great grandpa that you sometimes get seated next to at Thanksgiving, who drones on and on about Mongolia and how he fought sumo wrestlers and hit perfect bullseyes. And you have to pretend that you believe it and you think it's charming until you're really just looking around like, can someone save me from great grandpa? I need a break. Someone else has got to do the loving but heavy lifting over here. So no sooner do those two things happen, the audio and this book, then at that moment, they decide to tell us he's got cancer. Not just any cancer, but prostate cancer, which is spread to the bones, which every single doctor I have spoken to personally or read or watched in the past 24 to 36 hours, every single one, prostate specialists, urologists, oncologists, all say this would take 5 to 7 years, maybe 10, to go from prostate cancer to metastasized into the bones. 5 to 7, probably 10. All of them said he had this when he took office. He had cancer probably when he was sworn in January of 2021. And yet the White House, the former White House, Biden's, wants us to believe through this paper statement they put out that in the course of, I guess it would have been Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days, he found a nodule, got diagnosed, figured out it was prostate cancer, had the bone scan, saw that it had metastasized to the bones, and figured out that it was hormone sensitive prostate cancer. And this is where, the best proof we've had yet comes in, that this is all, that it's all lies. So this, like, the prostate cancer doctor in America is this guy, Dr. David Samadi. He comes on and explains in the statement that the Biden office released, there is a tell that what they put out is not true. And that tell is they describe the cancer as hormone sensitive, I think was the term, hormone sensitive, meaning it's responding to hormone treatment. And for those of us who don't know anything about prostate cancer, it's like, oh, okay, I guess you can tell that by what kind of prostate cancer it is. No, he explained you only know whether it responds to hormone treatment or not by giving the treatment. And it not like 1 day or 5 days or 1 week. This treatment would have had to go on for some time, and they would have had to see that it was responding to the hormone treatment, basically to the cutting off of testosterone going into his body. So his position with me was there is no way all that happened in the past 5 days to 7 days. If they know that it's hormone sensitive prostate cancer, they've been treating him. And it's likely been going on for far longer. It would have to have been going on for far longer than they've revealed. That's as close as we're going to get to a smoking gun proof that they're lying in this.